Hi, if we haven't had the chance to meet yet, my name is Frank Spencer, and because the world that we live in today wants to control the future, make it an inaccessible place, make it something that we're all afraid of, and so we try desperately not to think about it, but knowing that being able to imagine a better future, a world worth living for, is a superpower. It is our ability to resist. It is our ability to activate. Is our ability to embrace joy. Because of that, it is my passion, alongside my amazing partners, Yvette Montero Salvatico and Nicole Baker Rosa, who have the same passion, to make the future natural. In other words, to make it something that you actively pursue, to make thinking about the future something that you get excited about. And so that's what these meditations and transformations videos are about. Just in case we haven't met yet, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here with me. And I just want to briefly, in this short video, touch on the fact that, and this is in line with what I just said in my introduction, that the future is queer and the future is trans. So for those who've watched any of my videos before, you know the word transformation comes up a lot. And in tons of different industries and places, the word transformation today is all over the place. It's sort of a buzzword. Although I'm not real fond of this accusation of buzzwords, because I think it kills off words that really are powerful and have meaning. All words, by the way, get captured and taken away, absconded, so to speak. But they still can be powerful. And transformation is one of those words. And so when you think about that trans, the across, the between, the connection between two things, right? And then when you think about the word queer, of course, we associate that a lot with sexuality, which is right. But it also, obviously, of course, means that things are weaving in and out of one another. They're entangled. They're not binary. They're not in silos. They're not separated. And if you think about our world, it's queer. It is interconnected. There's nothing that doesn't impact another thing. And even if you take away all of the inventions of humans and just think about nature and the cosmos and the planet, all of our ecosystems, all of our terrains, all of our different regions in the world, the rivers and the mountains and the deserts and the forests, they're all dependent on one another. Oxygen and carbon dioxide and water and minerals and living trees and plants and animals, and yes, humans as well, all interconnected. And that is a very queer approach to reality. It would be one thing if trees were siloed away with only trees, but we know that trees feed the dirt, and the dirt feeds the trees, and the sky feeds the trees, and the trees feed the sky, and the animals live in the trees, and everything is very queer. You might have seen on my thumbnail that I have been reading this book lately, The Forest Euphoria, the Abounding Queerness of Nature itself. And this book is by, you probably are recognizing that I don't do very well without my glasses, Patricia Kaishian. And it's just been, I knew when I saw the cover of this book that it was going to be something I was going to want to read, because we actually have a community of practice online called the Dragonfly Journey. If you're not familiar, go back and watch some of the other videos. I talk about the Dragonfly Journey. You might be interested in joining our community. It's easy to join. And throughout the year, leading up to our biannual retreats, where we talk about how you and I together can actively create better futures. Those are amazing times together with beautiful people. We have this ongoing year-long community of practice where we're in this very, what I like to describe as a sacred place, as a futures thinker, a person who's passionate about helping others engage in the future, create the future, be a part of the future, know that the future belongs to them, it belongs to you and me together. I sort of inhabit a role of philosopher mystic. That might sound like some bizarre given self-referential title. But it is true, and I've recognized that for a long time. I think our philosophy, or the way we think about our starting places, our foundations, is so important. And this word mystic is, of course, mystical, right? But I do believe that the future shouldn't be filled with data and numbers and trying to measure things and silo them, but it really is a place of incredible awe and wonder and enchantment. We need to recover that again. And being able to tap into not just the biological, the psychological, the sociological, all important things to me and the work that I do. By the way, again, since this is partially an introduction video too, if we've never met before, I say philosopher mystic, but I love to be able to use titles like that at the same time that companies around the globe for the past 25 years have been employing my services and that of my partners Yvette and Nicole, like the Walt Disney Company, the Lego Company, Lululemon, Hasbro, General Mills, and the Ports of Auckland, and just the list goes on. Procter & Gamble, the list goes on and on. And we help companies to think about the future in this same kind of way. But I believe just helping companies think about the future is just definitely not only going to be enough, but it can be dangerous if they're the only ones, because they'll capture the future, right? And they try to mold it. And you and I, can't let that happen. And so I think it's so much more important that we, not only as individuals, but in relationship with one another, understand that we should be engaging with the future in a perspective of awe and wonder and enchantment, the philosopher mystic, see? And so again, going back to Forest Euphoria and talking about the future being queer, because I know I got off base a little bit here in the last few minutes, but I just want to read you a little passage from this book, The Forest Euphoria. Just a tiny bit. It's really amazing. And then this first part of this book that just a really, really brief paragraph here. And it's in the first part of the book, first chapter of the book, called Slugs, Snails, and Other Ways of Being. The author says, queerness is common throughout the tree of life. All sorts of organisms, snails, mushrooms, termites, algae, dolphins, immeasurable others show us that life is not only possible, but abundant outside of our narrow boxes, our binaries, and prescriptions. Variations of queerness in organisms, especially in animals, have been recognized around the world for thousands of years. In Biological Exuberance, Animal Homosexuality, and Natural Diversity, scientist Bruce Bagmile compiles an enormous body of documentation of same-sex couples, transgendered beings, otherwise queer relations in the animal world dating back over 100 years. So as I said a few minutes ago, obviously when we often think about queerness, and this is definitely not wrong, it's right, we can think about sexuality and the fact that these gender roles that we occupy are, they just aren't natural. And if we're going to inhabit the world that we are in presently, then we have to understand the queerness of our world. It's great diversity, creativity, difference, and all of that breeds amazing possibilities. But I don't want to just talk about it in sexual terms. And the author does the same thing when she says this: queerness includes your orientation and your sexual attraction, yes. But it also functions as a broader challenge against imposed control. Remember at the beginning of the video when I said, because the world that we live in wants to control your future, they want to build a future for you. And my passion in these videos and on this channel is to help you to be an active futures thinker, imagining a world worth living for, as the author Dougal Hines says. So queerness has shown me how the heteronormative obsession with prescribed gender and sex roles has corrupted our ways of relating to one another. Many of our relationships, romantic or not, queer or not, they're all negatively impacted by heteronormativity. Consider how we make and maintain friendships even. From deep, ruminating, and life-altering bonds to simpler neighborly connections, the pleasant encounters and the outer valence, of our daily circuits. Men are trained to repress their emotional range. They are presumed to always want sex, discouraged from genuine friendships with women, from true intimacy with one another. Collectively, they're in the middle of a terrible loneliness crisis. And then she goes on to say more about the fact that queerness obviously is larger than just the way that we as humans might think about our sexuality. That's a part of it. But the reality is that all of nature, all of life, and yes, the future is queer. What do I mean by that? Well, because there are multiple possible futures that will unfold. And in each one of those possible futures, they're not made up of somebody else's envision of the future. They're made up of you and me being in a relationship with one another. And in that deep relationship, there'd be an emergence of what wants to unfold. That's the definition of queerness. That is life itself. And so the future is abundantly queer. If it's not, it's going to be stale. If it is, it will be full of awe, wonder, enchantment, creativity, boundless transformation possibilities and potentialities. And that's exactly what we need. I just want to end this video by saying that a good friend of mine was posting online today saying, I recently realized I have a superpower, that I am a highly sensitive person, an HSP. You probably know this term. I have actually categorized as an HSP as well. I've known this for many years. I could walk into a Starbucks and sense in almost a supernatural way, but it's not supernatural. It's just the empathy working in overdrive. I can sense people that are sad, happy, and almost tell you why they're that way. I'm not claiming to have some supernatural power. I couldn't probably actually get the exact details right, but I can feel people's emotions around me. Songs constantly make me cry. It's amazing the things that will make me emotional. And with that comes not only the joys and the creativity, but the tragedies and drama as well when you're a very emotional person. But let me say that that's not something HSP that's only relegated to a few of us. Because the reality is, even if you don't categorize as an HSP, a highly sensitive person, together, collectively, we connectively, cooperatively, coherently, and co-creatively have the ability, we are together with all of nature, highly sensitive species, a highly sensitive consciousness, highly sensitive cosmos. And that means that when we operate in this interrelationship of queerness, that we can perceive emerging novelty and then foster through co-creation those transformational realities that allow you to escape the control, the official future, the digging in of the forces that want to make the future something that they have defined instead of you and I. You have a beautiful future, my friend. I do too. But it's only in relationship with you, with consciousness, with the cosmos, with one another. I look forward to being in this relationship with you. I hope you come back and listen to me some more on the channel. I hope what I say is helping all of you. I'm here for you. And I would love for you to join us on the Dragonfly journey or at a retreat sometime in the future, but definitely ongoing on this channel. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.